What's up guys, it's your boy Who's Who here again, and we're back with another video. So today we're in the office. We are doing something a little bit different. Today we're gonna give you 10 interview tips, because what I've been realizing is that persons come to the interview pretty unprepared, and I just want everybody to be successful. I want everybody to pass and to have a good job. So I decided I was gonna give you guys 10 tips so that we can come to any interview, not just only mine, you know exactly how to go about the interview. So just stay tuned for that video.
When I look at where I'm coming from, I know I'm blessed.
Alright guys, so I'm gonna tell you about the 10 things that I wrote down. I have presentation of oneself, computer assessment, structure of seating, introduction of oneself, speaking standard English, Google customer service scenarios, show confidence, flexibility, know your salary range, and communicate with interviewer. So those are the 10 things that I was speaking about. Now, let's begin with the first one. Is the presentation of oneself. When you're coming to an interview, how you attire is very important. Even if it's a garbage truck interview, you must come and you must represent yourself well. Some interviewers like myself, we don't really look at how a person's dressed really, because how you dress doesn't really represent you. Some persons might disagree with me, but there are sometimes candidates coming here in the worst of the worst, and when you speak to them, you're surprised to know how educated they are, or their situations that they're currently going through is not so prosperous right now. So I don't really judge people based off that, but other interviewers will look at you and say, not a fit. You understand? But I'm an understanding interview, so that's what works for me. So the second thing is computer assessment, right? So guys, I'm sure when you were in high school they tell you that you have to be computer literate in order to work at any company. And what a lot of places are doing right now is they have their own assessment room where you go in and you basically speak on different things, and practical typing tests, listening skills. So what I'd advise you guys to do before coming to an interview, if you don't have a laptop or you don't have a desktop, what I recommend, you go to the internet cafe and pay that $200-$300 for the half hour and just practice your typing skills, practice how you navigate the mouse and stuff like that. Because what is happening now, because everything is on your phone, a lot of persons come in here and they think that typing on your phone is the same thing as typing on a laptop. It's the same key pattern, but it's a lot different. You understand? You understand? So I recommend at least a practice session, something a half hour a day practice before you come, because typing is something that they're really looking at. So if you cannot type 25 words in a minute, persons are looking at you as a lower ranking candidate. Now, I have a topic. It says structure of seating. Now, I don't know how to rephrase this one, but when you are coming to an interview, how you sit down in a chair says a lot about who you are to an interviewer, especially to me. So I will give you an example of how to sit when you're coming in for an interview. So just give me a minute. Now, that was just the example. Basically coming in. You have to come in and you have to sit up straight in the chair. You cannot be lounging or leaning forward or playing with your phone and stuff like that. Those are things that tell the interviewer that, hey, this person is not ready for the working world and that they are not competent enough for the job. A simple thing like that can cause it to be graded down. You understand? The interviewer watches everything that you do. So you guys should be very mindful of that. The next thing, sitting down into an interview, comes the introduction of oneself. Now, normally when I'm doing my interviews, I ask, I say, hey, I introduce myself first, and then I give you the opportunity to present yourself. You understand? this is the most important thing for an interview. It doesn't matter your qualification and thing. If you cannot introduce yourself, it says that you are not ready for the position. So if I come to and I say, hey, my name is Joe, and I'm ready, whatever, I've been working here for whatever, and your name is, you're supposed to say, my name is Keisha from I'm a whatever. So okay, nice to meet you, Keisha. Then the conversation picks up where you go and you say, okay, tell me a little bit about yourself. And then you're gonna be like, well, my name is Keisha, I'm an educated person. I did this and I did that. You must be able to represent yourself. You understand? Remember, your job is to convince the interviewer that you are ready for this work. You understand? So if you can't introduce yourself, if you come and say, well, I don't know, I don't really know if you talk about myself. Ask me a question. That's telling the interviewer, say, hey, you're not ready. You've already lost the job, if you cannot introduce yourself. That's the main thing. Because the interviewer wants to get a feel of it. That's why I asked that question. He already has his questions to ask you. You get me? He already has his questions to ask you. But he's waiting now. He's actually waiting for you to tell him a little bit about something that's not on your resume. You get me? So be very mindful of that. Now, the fifth point that I have down here is speaking standard English. Now, I cannot stress this enough how important this is, because I realize that speaking standard English is a problem for many persons. Now, when you're going to high school, I'm sure when you're speaking to your teacher, they tell you can't come and say, Miss, me there, you have to say, well, Miss, I'm here and I'm present at school today. The same way as if you are speaking to your teacher, that's how you speak to your interviewer. And I understand some interviewers come off as very friendly, and because sometimes I come off friendly, I come off mean. You understand? It doesn't mean anything. I give every candidate the equal opportunity to present themselves. Now, sometimes I realize when I say, all right, I'm gonna take it easy and just see this candidate out, because I'm so casual with them, they're like, yeah man, sir, the ghetto youths them there, and everything up, why I'm not know if I tell you about me there. No. Because what you're saying to me is that, hey, when I'm speaking to my customers, or our customers, that's how you're gonna speak. You understand? That's what we're taking it as. So that's why really you have to practice is speaking proper English. You don't know how to speak proper English, I recommend you Google English and read books. You understand? Read books, read diction books and stuff like that, how to enunciate. You understand? You have to know how to say stuff. Now, after doing all of that, you've already, if you do everything that I said a while ago, you're already 50% through the door. We're at the sixth point, which is Google customer service scenarios. Because this is a customer service in our interview. It's very easy to pass a customer service interview, because guess what? We will know if you're a good candidate based on how you speak, but not only that, the scenarios. And there's a limited amount of scenarios that we can ask you as a customer service rep. We can ask you, how would you deal with an angry customer? Right? That's the first thing we ask you. Or that's one of the main questions that we ask. And you can say, if the customer is irate, I would listen, I would empathize, I would just, try my best to de-escalate that situation. There you go. It's that simple to answer. Or we can sit there and say, if a customer is insisting to speak to a supervisor, what would you do? Experienced agent would tell that, well, I would try to build rapport, and by doing so, I will gradually bring down the customer, as in gradually bring them back down to a normal state where I can see if I can assist. If the customer still insists, I will go ahead and get the supervisor then. You understand? We don't want to come in and say, well, I get the supervisor. You understand? We don't want that. You understand? So those are things that you have to know. Those are scenarios that you have to Google and say, all right, if him ask me this, I already have the answer. Even if you're a new person. You understand? So that's what I mean by Google customer service scenarios. And which brings us to our seventh point, which is the show of confidence. I cannot stress this enough. For me, I don't know if it's because I'm a confident person. In anything I do, I'm always confident. You understand? And I understand that everybody's built different. Now, when I call you into my office or to say to you that, hey, you know that I want you to answer these questions. You can't be coming in and be like, my name is Siri, sir, I don't know, sir. Well, you must emit confidence. I must say, all right, even if this person did not answer everything correctly, just the confidence enough shows me that, hey, they can learn it and they can get it. You understand? Confidence goes a far way in anything that you're doing. If you don't have any confidence, you cannot handle customers. You cannot do customer service. You cannot work in a BPO because customers are gonna bring you down. They're gonna drag you, and you just need to take it on as a chip on the shoulder and just move on. So confidence is key. Now, the final thing. Sorry, not the final. This is the eighth thing. I'm sorry. No. The eighth thing is flexibility. No, I cannot stress this enough. And I'm going to say this, and I'm sorry, but if you are not 100% flexible, you will not last in the BPO industry. I'm going to repeat it. If you are not 100% flexible, you will not last here. All right? Persons go as far as to, all right, so for me, if I say I'm working in Portmore, and I see somebody lives in Linstead or Balaclava or above rocks, right? I ask you that question. I switch that question so much times. I'll be like, hey, are you flexible to work? Say if I require you to move from Portmore to Kingston, would that be a problem? That's the level of flexibility. You must be flexible. And also, even if I'm not sure, if you answer me right, I will still have you sign your resume. You have a pen and paper, and I will have you sign saying that you are flexible enough to work. So whenever you go on the floor, you cannot come and say, oh, they tell me interview, so I live above rocks, and I have this problem. Once I hear that you can't work late shift, you have to go to church on Sunday or Saturday, or baby you have to take care of, stuff like that, cannot work. It's not that I'm inhumane, but remember, you have to understand that BPOs are persons' bread and butter. And if we have 100 persons that have to take care of their daughter or have to, go, it's unfair to the persons who are making that sacrifice to say, hey, I'm going to be here regardless of what obligation I have. And that's unfair to them. And we cannot prioritize anybody over anybody. You understand? It's an open industry, and we want to ensure that the persons are flexible so they can work the shift and, help the company to grow. So it's not that we're being heartless, but we know what it is required. So when you tell us that you're not flexible, I don't know, but for me, once you're not flexible, I just write it off same time. I don't even finish signing up the interview sheet. Once you are not flexible, that's it for me. It's game over. I don't ask anything else. I just finish right up my failed, why you fail, and I tell you why you fail, and that's it. Flexibility is key. The next thing I'm going to ask now is know your salary range. All right? Do some research. You understand? The best research you can do is from a friend, word of mouth. Excuse me. Word of mouth. You can ask them, what is your company paying? What is this company paying? Ask somebody that BPO persons are all over. You can meet them randomly. What your range? You don't have to ask them exactly because some person don't want to tell you their salary. Not that they're embarrassing them, but sometimes because the amount of money they're making, they'll be like, I don't really want to know, so I collect the food there. So know your range. Don't come to an interview and say, oh, you want $450 or $500 an hour. You understand? It simply means that you did not do your research on the company. The company doesn't pay that. You understand? You have to come prepared knowing these things that, hey, well, say another them paying, or you can come and say, if they pay, you can ask $50 above, and the interview will say, all right. But if you come and say the company paid $350 an hour, and you come and say you want $450, the interviewer knows that you didn't do any market research, you didn't do anything, you just come and expect them and give you what you want. It doesn't work like that. You understand? So that's an automatic fail for me. You did not do your company research. So work on that, guys. The final thing for me is communicating with your interviewer. Now, there are times when persons come to do interview, and when they do the interviewer asks them a question, and say, tell me about yourself. My name is Keisha, and I'm from Westman. I know my aunt this, my aunt that, and my uncle is my aunt that. And then there's a sudden pause. And you're like, the two of you looking at each other, and your interviewer says something else, and you're like, try to build a conversation with your interviewer. Come to him and say, yes, so tell me something. If you realize there's a pause, tell me something, because sometimes we as interviewers, we're trying to make the conversation flow, But you guys give us some answers, sometimes we're just like, communicate as if you're talking to your friend in a respectful manner. Say, so how's your day going? Everything is all right. Yes, and because sometimes they could be typing in your answers on the computer. You understand? And then the pause is just there. Try to build a little rapport. When you do that, that eases pressure off. Because the interviewer say, all right, see, I don't have to ask him this question because he came in here building rapport with me. That means he knows what the BPO industry entails. You understand? So guys, that's going to be it for me. Those are 10 tips on how to pass a customer service interview. I'll be doing videos daily on interviews and how you pass them. So that's going to be it. Remember to like, share, and subscribe, guys. Tell your friends. Peace.